Welcome back to the podcast, you beautiful people. I want to talk about the idea of a Misogi. Now, maybe you never encountered this idea. It's very powerful, and I would encourage you to take this idea and go and think about how you can execute this in the next 12 months to take your life to that very next level. Your success in business is always going to be dependent on you, the founder, the entrepreneur, as the constraint of the business, because the business will never outgrow your capacity, right? You are the bottleneck, and by definition, the bottleneck is at the top of the bottle. And so your skills, your beliefs, your resources, your capacity is what's ultimately going to dictate the growth of your business. And so if we want to grow the business, we need to first focus on you, the founder, underlying that. And the best way to do that is working on your mindset. And I know that's like a really, everybody talks about mindset. What's that even mean anymore? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, like, the more I play this game, the more entrepreneurs that I coach, the more entrepreneurs that I have the fortune of being around, the more I see it over and over. The ones that are successful have the strongest minds. Like, they operate in a different way on a different level up here before it ever even manifests out here. And the Misogi, I think, is an activity that will help you develop your mindset for doing hard things. So, what is a Misogi? A Misogi is a very difficult, incredibly challenging activity that you engage with that you are not even certain you can do. You have like a 50% likelihood of succeeding at this. So that could be, I'm going to do an Ironman. You're like, I don't even know, like, I'm going to do an Ironman in 6 months. I don't know if that's enough time to train one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, right? It could be, I'm going to try to hike a 14er in under an hour. I don't know. Like, that seems pretty hard, right? Like, good luck. It could be just whatever for you would be an incredibly challenging physical endeavor that you have about a 50% likelihood of succeeding. Now, the thing about the Misogi is that this is not for social media purposes. This is not for posturing or telling people or anything like that. This is an internal endeavor. And so what makes the Misogi so interesting is that you are actually forbidden from telling people that you are doing it. You're not allowed to tell them, I'm going to take this rock and I'm going to try and carry it up this hill in under 2 hours. You don't get to tell them that. You just do it. You try it. And if you don't succeed, you keep that to yourself. You're doing this hard thing for yourself. And at the core of this is when we do hard things, specifically when we do hard things that we don't want to do. And I'll talk about the distinction between doing hard things and hard things that we don't want to do in just a second. But when you do those things, your brain actually changes. It actually is adapting to become more resilient and more capable of doing hard things in the future. So the more you do hard things that you don't want to do, the more able you are to do hard things in the future that you don't want to do. And that's thanks to this little place inside of your brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. It's a very interesting part of the brain that's correlated with this feeling of the coming storm. Like when people have an activated an anterior mid-cingulate cortex, they describe it as being this looming storm, and yet they don't want to run from it. They feel compelled to lean into it. It's this really interesting place. And that is what you need when it comes to building a successful business, is like this ability to see and feel the coming storm and not run away from it, but to lean into it. And there's a lot of really interesting research around how to develop this particular part of the brain. What they did was they looked at people who were on a diet and were successful versus people who were on a diet and ultimately failed. And what they found was the people who were on the diet and succeeded, they did the hard thing that they didn't want to do, their anterior mid-cingulate cortex actually grew. It actually expanded, got stronger. Whereas the people who did the diet and then quit, it actually got weaker. It atrophied, it got smaller. So we know from the research that by doing hard things that we don't want to do, we increase our brain's capacity to do hard things in the future. That's a very incredibly powerful skill set to have. Now, here's the other reason that this is a good thing, is that the anterior mid-cingulate cortex is actually correlated with longevity. And so what they found is that it's actually a guard against cognitive decline. A strong ACC, I guess it would technically be a MCC, guards against cognitive decline and will help you not just live longer, but live a better life, right? So there's so many reasons why doing hard things that you don't want to do is a beneficial endeavor, both in business, but also just in life. Because at the end of the day, the reason we build businesses is to maximize our return on life so we can make a lot of money, we can make a lot of impact, we can live the life that we want on the terms that we want, and we can make an impact on the lives of the community, our families, our friends. And that's a great thing, right? But business itself is not just about making the money. It's about the impact that we get to have with that. Now, what I want to suggest to you is that there's a difference between doing hard things and doing hard things that you don't want to do. And this is the critical distinction when it comes to developing your anterior mid-cingulate cortex. It's not enough just to do hard things. I was just in the gym. That's a hard thing, but it's not helping me improve that portion of my brain because I like that kind of hard. It doesn't bother me, right? And so if you like doing certain hard things and you get enjoyment out of it, you're not getting the benefits. And so the distinction here is that you have to do hard things that you don't want to do. And my challenge to you is to figure out what are some of those things. For me, I hate running. So this month, my hard thing that I hate to do is running. I'm doing that more consistently. It could be taking cold showers for a month. It could be sitting and meditating for an hour every single day, right? That could be a hard thing. It could be sitting down and doing math puzzles, right? There's all sorts of ways that you can do hard things that you don't want to do. But the distinction, the important part of this is that it has to be something you don't really want to do. And so if you see yourself kind of being pulled towards it, there's not really a resistance, you're just excited to tackle it, it's probably not the right thing that's going to help you develop that particular portion of your brain. And so bringing this back around to the idea of the Misogi is that whatever you choose for your Misogi, don't just make it something hard that you want to do. Make it something hard that you're like, I really don't want to do that. That sounds pretty freaking miserable, right? Like that for me might be like, go run 20 miles with your feet 5 inches in the water on a beach wearing socks. Like that would just be fucking hell on earth for me. Like that sounds freaking miserable. Or it could be, going for a 20-mile run wearing sweats. That would also probably freaking kill me. But there's all sorts of ways. You have to figure out your unique struggle and the things that you uniquely dislike, and then go do the hard thing around that. Develop your brain, develop you as the person, your business will grow. I promise you, nothing bad will come from this. As long as you don't hurt yourself, don't kill yourself, don't do anything crazy. We want to keep you around as long as possible. So that's going to do it for me, guys and gals. We'll see you in the next episode.